we're going to start our coil bowls. We have one right here. These are all going to be formed with rolling out coils about the thickness of your finger. We're going to each have a piece of paper. We're going to put our initials on your paper and turn it over. Take a piece of your clay. You're going to kind of work it so it's oblong all the way up my fingers. Now this is a little bit flat. It's not round, so I'm going to stand it tall, press it down a little bit, and keep rolling. This is pretty even. It's about the thickness of my finger. So I'm going to get my paper, and we're going to start in the center, wrapping our coil around. That looks pretty good. Now from the outer edges to the inside, I'm just going to smear my clay together. This clay is pretty wet, so I don't need to worry about the slipping, scratching and attaching on this one. Get it nice and smooth. And round. There we go. Now we have the base to our pot, which is this part right here. Now I'll take another chunk of clay and continue rolling my coils. Make it oblong. If it gets lumpy, stand it tall, press it down all the way up my hand. I go from the center and I'm working my way to the edges of the coil. Now I'm going to attach this first one. I'm going to get my toothbrush, get it a little wet, scratch my surface, I'm noticing right here that this is a little thin, so I'm going to cut that part out. Now I'll lay the scratch surface onto my base. And we want this to line up perfectly. So very gently, I'm going to take my tool and cut through it. Do you see how I had it overlapping? Now I can take this little chunk off, and this is going to line up perfectly. Press the coil gently onto the base. You don't want to pinch, you're just pressing. Now I can do my next coil. It's a little thin there, so I'm going to get rid of that. Scratch and attach my second row. Overlap. Very gently hold both coils. We're just going on that second row coil, bring these together. And I'll keep going up. Now I have these done, I can go ahead and smooth out the inside. So I'm very carefully going to lay it in my hand, and I'm going to take one finger and just start blending these coils together, rotating it. Make sure you don't get your walls too thin or they'll collapse. Now we'll let this get leather hard and put it in the kiln. After it dries for a couple weeks, and then we'll be able to glaze them.